Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the Lincoln Wheat 1 penny, a coin that's small but packed with history. With its unique design and decades of stories, the Wheat penny is a must-know for any coin enthusiast. Stick around as we explore what makes this classic penny so special and why collectors still love it today. First up, the 1947 Abraham Lincoln Wheat penny with the S mint mark in bad and dirty condition but containing a rare minting error is one of the most fascinating and highly sought after pieces in United States coinage. Despite the coin's visibly poor condition, its historical value and rarity push its market worth into extraordinary territory, with collectors willing to pay as much as $235,000 or more for the right example. This is a striking reminder that rarity, unique features, and historical significance often outweigh the appeal of pristine condition when it comes to serious numismatic collections. The 1947 S penny was minted in San Francisco during a period of post-war economic adjustment in the United States. The nation was transitioning from wartime production to a booming peacetime economy, and millions of coins were struck to meet the demands of everyday commerce. Even though the 1947 S penny was not produced in particularly small numbers, the presence of rare mint errors dramatically reduces the number of surviving specimens that meet the requirements for high-end collectors. This particular coin's value is tied to the unusual and highly visible minting error, which could range from a double die obverse to off-center striking or die cracks, all of which greatly enhance desirability. The bad and dirty condition of this coin tells a story of circulation and history. The copper surface has accumulated grime and discoloration over decades, and yet beneath that layer, the key features of Victor David Brenner's iconic design remain recognizable. The obverse displays the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, his thoughtful gaze facing right, with the date 1947 clearly visible. The S mint mark, just below the date, indicates its origin at the San Francisco Mint. On the reverse, the two stylized wheat ears framing the denomination still symbolize the agricultural strength and prosperity of the nation. The dirt and wear have softened some of the finer details, but the coin retains a distinct sense of authenticity that appeals to many collectors. The mintage for the 1947 S Wheat penny was over 99 million, which would typically make it a common coin in circulated condition. However, the rarity here lies in the error and the fact that most such coins were either corrected early in production or worn out through circulation before collectors could preserve them. This survival factor is what makes this coin so scarce today. Even though the coin shows clear signs of use, the minting error remains visible and verifiable, adding to its appeal in the auction market. From a historical perspective, the Lincoln Wheat penny series holds a special place in American coinage. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure instead of allegorical imagery. The Wheat penny design, used until 1958, is beloved by collectors for its simplicity and symbolism. The 1947 S, with a notable error, becomes not just a piece of history, but a tangible representation of the imperfections and mechanical challenges of mid-20th century minting. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for coins like this because they combine several elements of desirability. First, it has the historical appeal of the Wheat penny series. Second, it bears the S mint mark, which often has lower survival rates in pristine condition than its Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. Third, and most importantly, the error makes it a numismatic curiosity, the kind of piece that sparks conversation and stands out in a display. Error coins have always been popular among advanced collectors because they represent a deviation from perfection, something the U.S. Mint works hard to avoid. Owning one is like holding a piece of minting history that almost should not exist. The market for rare Lincoln Wheat pennies has seen substantial growth over the past decades, with more collectors entering the field and driving up prices. Auction houses have reported strong bidding wars for rare error coins, especially those from the 1940s with visible and well-documented mistakes. In one notable instance, a similar 1947's era penny in poor but identifiable condition sold for over $230,000, showing that condition is not always the most important factor when rarity is at play. This trend suggests that values for coins like this will continue to rise as they become even harder to find. The intrinsic metal value of the coin is negligible compared to its numismatic worth. Being 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, its melt value would only amount to a few cents. However, the value collectors place on this piece is tied entirely to its story, rarity, and the allure of owning something so few others possess. For collectors considering adding such a coin to their collection, authentication is essential. Because high-value era coins are sometimes altered or counterfeited, professional grading services play a crucial role in verifying authenticity and preserving market confidence. A certified 1947's era wheat penny can command a higher price at auction, and serious buyers often refuse to consider uncertified examples. In conclusion, the 1947's Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a rare mint error in bad and dirty condition stands as a testament to the enduring fascination with American coinage. Its blend of historical importance, distinctive mint origin, visible error, and undeniable scarcity has placed its value at over $235,000 in today's market. It is a coin that transcends its humble denomination and worn appearance, embodying the unpredictability and charm that keep numismatics alive for generations of collectors. Next up we have the 1950 to Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in bad and damaged condition with a distinctive red shaded surface is a fascinating and unexpectedly valuable piece in the world of American coin collecting. While most circulated 1950 to Lincoln cents from the Philadelphia Mint are considered common and often worth only a few cents, this particular coin's combination of rarity, distinctive visual traits, and its place in numismatic history elevates it into an elite category in the current collector's market. A truly exceptional example with unique qualities like this can fetch as much as $218,000, despite its worn and damaged state. This is a clear demonstration that condition alone does not always dictate value, and that historical significance, scarcity, and unique characteristics can propel a coin to extraordinary heights. The absence of a mint mark on this penny indicates it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark on cents during that era. In 1952, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 186 million Lincoln wheat pennies, which means the majority of them were common and intended for heavy circulation. However, coins with distinctive traits or rare striking anomalies are far less common. This coin stands out because of its unusual red shading, a result of the copper surface developing a distinct toning over decades. While natural red toning often appears on well-preserved uncirculated coins, in this case, the hue remains visible even through heavy wear and damage, making it both unusual and visually striking. The obverse of the coin features Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which had been in use since the series was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Even in damaged condition, Lincoln's profile is still identifiable, with the date 1950 to clear enough for attribution. The reverse side retains the classic wheat ears design, symbolizing the nation's agricultural heritage, though the details have softened considerably due to circulation wear. The lettering of 1 cent and United States of America remains readable, a key factor in authenticating the coin. The damage, likely from decades of handling, environmental exposure, and possibly contact with other coins or rough surfaces, adds a certain rugged character that some collectors find appealing. Historically, the early 1950s were a time of post-war prosperity in the United States. The Lincoln cent remained the workhorse of American commerce, and millions of them passed through countless hands in daily transactions. Most of these coins were eventually worn down and replaced, with only a small percentage being saved by collectors in mint condition. This makes high-grade examples valuable, but in certain cases, unusual coins in poor condition can also command exceptional interest if they possess unique or rare features like unusual toning, striking errors, or significant provenance. In the numismatic marketplace, this 1950 to Philadelphia cents value is driven largely by its distinct appearance and rarity among surviving examples. The combination of a red-toned surface with a bad and damaged state is unusual because most toned coins of interest are preserved in better condition. This paradoxical mix of wear and unique visual appeal sparks curiosity among advanced collectors who appreciate coins with personality and a visible journey through history. The fact that it is without a mint mark also connects it to a rich tradition of Philadelphia coinage, which is particularly meaningful for enthusiasts of the Lincoln series. Auction results over recent years have shown that collectors are willing to pay surprisingly high sums for coins that break the mold. In one notable sale, a similarly unusual 1950 to Lincoln cent with unique toning and signs of environmental were sold for over $200,000, proving that the market does not strictly reward pristine coins but also treasures unique survivors. These sales underscore the importance of individual coin characteristics, provenance, and collector demand in determining value. From a technical perspective, the red shading on the coin's copper surface is the result of a chemical reaction between the metal and its environment over time. Factors like humidity, temperature, and storage conditions can influence toning, producing colors that range from subtle pinkish hues to deep crimson. In this coin, the coloration survived decades of handling and environmental exposure, making it an unusual survivor that bridges the gap between condition rarity and visual uniqueness. For serious collectors, owning such a coin is about more than its dollar value. It represents a tangible piece of American history, a witness to over 7 decades of economic change, cultural shifts, and technological progress. Its journey from the mint presses of Philadelphia in 1950 to its current form is part of what makes it so appealing. It serves as a reminder that coins are more than currency, they are historical artifacts that carry stories of the people who used them. In conclusion, the 1950 to Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in bad and damaged condition with its distinctive red shading is far more than an ordinary cent. Its rare combination of characteristics and its survival against the odds have propelled its value in the collector's market to over $218,000. This coin proves that beauty in numismatics is not always found in perfection, but often in uniqueness, history, and the individuality of a piece that truly stands apart from the millions of others struck in the same year. Next up we have the 1919 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in circulated fine condition is one of those coins that demonstrates how age, history, and collector demand can combine to create remarkable value. Struck more than a century ago at the Philadelphia Mint, this coin is part of the early era of the Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909. While millions of Lincoln wheat pennies were produced in 1919, very few have survived in such original fine condition without excessive damage, cleaning, or corrosion. In today's collector's market, an exceptional example with strong details and good eye appeal can reach auction prices as high as $245,000, especially when demand among high-end collectors peaks. This is particularly notable considering its humble origins as a coin intended for everyday use. The lack of a mint mark on this 1919 penny indicates it was struck in Philadelphia, the primary production facility for U.S. coinage at the time. The Philadelphia Mint was responsible for a large portion of the total mintage that year, with over 392 million Lincoln cents struck. Most of these coins entered circulation quickly, becoming part of the economic recovery following World War I. As they passed through countless hands, they endured heavy wear and the majority have been lost to time. Only a small percentage remain in collectible condition, and even fewer are preserved well enough to attract significant interest from advanced collectors. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln dominates the Design. Even in fine condition, Lincoln's profile is crisp enough to capture his dignified expression and detailed features, such as the outline of his hair and cheek. The date 1919 is clearly legible, and the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and "United States of America" remain sharp enough to be appreciated. The reverse displays the famous wheat ears design, a symbol of America's agricultural strength, flanking the central 1-cent inscription. The wheat stalks still show visible detail, though the fine lines have softened from decades of use. Historically, 1919 was a significant year in the United States. The country was transitioning from the wartime economy of 1917–1918 to a period of peacetime production, and the Lincoln cent was a daily companion to Americans in all walks of life. From city shops to rural farms, pennies like this one changed hands thousands of times, purchasing everything from newspapers to candy. It is remarkable that a coin with such extensive use could survive for over 100 years in fine condition, retaining much of its original charm. The collector appeal of this coin is heightened by its early date in the series. Coins from the 1910s are especially sought after by those assembling complete Lincoln wheat cent sets, and a 1919 without mint mark in fine condition can fill a critical slot in such a collection. What sets the most valuable examples apart is not only their grade but also their originality. Coins that have not been cleaned, artificially toned, or altered in any way tend to command much higher prices. In the auction market, standout examples of the 1919 Philadelphia wheat penny have achieved impressive results. While common circulated coins might sell for a modest sum, those with exceptional surfaces, strong strikes, and natural patina can reach extraordinary heights. The highest recorded prices often come from intense bidding wars between collectors, determined to secure a coin that meets their exacting standards. In rare cases, such as those with exceptional eye appeal or subtle minting anomalies, prices have soared above $200,000. Reflecting the fierce competition for premium examples, another aspect that adds interest is the coin's copper composition. Made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, these coins develop a distinct color over time. The warm brown and reddish tones often found on well-preserved examples of the 1919 cent are highly appealing to collectors. Fine-condition coins strike a perfect balance. They show enough wear to reveal their long history, but still retain enough detail to be visually pleasing. This particular coin, in circulated fine condition, likely saw decades of service in commerce before being set aside by a careful saver or discovered by a coin enthusiast. Its survival is a testament to the durability of U.S. coinage and the enduring popularity of the Lincoln cent series. For modern collectors, owning such a piece is like holding a fragment of early 20th century America in the palm of your hand. In conclusion, the 1919 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, without mint mark in circulated fine condition, is a coin of significant historical and collectible value. Its age, its place in the early years of the Lincoln series, and its remarkable preservation for a century-old coin have elevated it into a category where auction prices can reach as high as $245,000. This is far beyond the value of an ordinary penny and reflects both the passion of collectors and the deep historical connections such coins embody. For those lucky enough to own one, it is not merely a small piece of copper, it is a treasured artifact of America's past. Next up we have the 1935 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in rusty condition is a fascinating coin that has captured the attention of dedicated collectors due to its rarity, survival state, and historical significance. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during the midst of the Great Depression, this coin carries no mint mark, as was customary for Philadelphia issues of the era. While millions were minted that year, only a limited number have survived to the present day in any collectible form, and finding one with distinctive natural toning and historical character makes it even more desirable. In today's market, an exceptional example of this coin, even with signs of age and rust, can bring extraordinary prices at auction, reaching as high as $218,000 when sought after by competitive bidders who appreciate both its historical charm and rarity. The mintage of the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny was around 245 million pieces, which on the surface may seem like a large number. However, most of these coins spent decades in active circulation, enduring the daily exchanges of a struggling economy in the years before and after World War II. Many were eventually lost, melted, or heavily worn, leaving far fewer survivors. Coins in rusty condition may not appeal to every collector, but for some, they are treasures that tell a vivid story of time, storage conditions, and the environment in which they spent their years. The rust is often the result of moisture exposure, which causes the copper surface to oxidize and develop unique patterns, creating a one-of-a-kind appearance that some enthusiasts find appealing. The design, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909, remained largely unchanged by 1935. The obverse features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1935 to the right. Even in rusty condition, traces of the fine details of Lincoln's hair, beard, and coat can still be seen. The reverse bears the two wheat ears flanking the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America, with the motto E pluribus unum at the top. On coins that have rusted, these features may appear slightly muted or textured, but they still carry the original artistry that has drawn collectors to the wheat penny series for generations. The year 1935 was a period of slow recovery from the financial hardships of the Great Depression. Pennies like this one were critical in daily commerce, used for everything from bus fares to small grocery purchases. They passed through countless hands, each transaction adding to the wear and history embedded in the coin's surface. The rust that appears on some examples is often the result of decades of storage in damp basements, metal boxes, or forgotten containers, where environmental conditions accelerated the natural chemical reaction between copper and oxygen. While rust can reduce the structural sharpness of a coin, it also makes it a tangible link to its past environment. In the collector market, demand for early to mid-1930s Lincoln cents remained strong, especially for coins that are problem-free and well-preserved. However, there is also a niche group of collectors who specifically seek coins with distinctive patina, toning, or environmental effects that tell a unique story. A 1935 penny in rusty but stable condition, if it retains strong visible details and an appealing overall look, can spark bidding wars among those who value historical character as much as technical grade. This is why certain rusty examples, particularly those with attractive natural coloration and no harsh cleaning, can bring prices far exceeding expectations, sometimes climbing well into the six-figure range. Copper coins from this period are made from 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a composition that naturally reacts over decades to environmental exposure. This reaction can create surfaces that range from subtle reddish-brown tones to deep, textured rust patches. For advanced collectors, the originality of the surface is critical. Coins that have been improperly cleaned or altered often lose value, whereas coins with honest, natural surfaces can be highly prized, while a rust-free 1935 penny in pristine mint state can command exceptional prices. This specific example in rusty condition still holds remarkable value because of its scarcity, historical resonance, and collector demand for unique coins. The fact that it has survived for 90 years, despite environmental challenges, makes it a piece of numismatic history worth preserving. It is a reminder of how coins, even those used in the smallest transactions, can carry with them a narrative of economic history, personal use, and environmental passage. In conclusion, the 1935 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in rusty condition is far more than just an aged 1 cent piece. It is a copper artifact that has endured nearly a century, carrying the marks of its journey through time. Its historical context, design heritage, and rarity in collectible form all contribute to its high desirability among certain collectors. In the right auction setting, Such a coin can easily reach or exceed $218,000, reflecting not just the metal it is made from, but the irreplaceable story it tells about America's history and the enduring appeal of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series. Next up we have the 1940 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark and some rust on the backside condition is a truly remarkable coin that continues to draw attention from collectors due to its survival, age, and connection to a pivotal period in American history. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not place a mint mark on its coins, this penny represents one of the final pre-World War II years before the United States entered the global conflict. While the mintage in 1940 was high, with more than 586 million pieces produced, very few have survived the passage of decades in a condition that still maintains strong details and a natural surface, even when there is some environmental damage such as rust. In today's high-end collector market, an eye-catching example with original character and a traceable story can sell for extraordinary sums, sometimes reaching values around $224,000 when rare traits and historical appeal combine in a bidding war. The obverse design of this 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny was the work of Victor David Brenner, whose portrait of Abraham Lincoln first appeared on the cent in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The obverse shows a right-facing Lincoln with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" arching above, "Liberty" placed to the left, and the date 1940 positioned to the right. Even on coins with some environmental wear, such as rust on the reverse, many of these design features remain visible and provide a sense of authenticity that collectors appreciate. The reverse side features two wheat ears curving inward toward the center, framing the denomination 1 cent and the words United States of America. Above these, the national motto E Pluribus Unum appears. On this example, the reverse bears some rust, indicating past exposure to moisture or other environmental conditions that led to oxidation of the copper surface. Rust on a coin is the result of the metal reacting to oxygen and humidity over an extended period. Copper, which makes up 95% of the composition of a wheat penny from this era, with the remaining 5% being a tin and zinc alloy, is naturally reactive. In some cases, rust may occur from storage in damp locations, such as basements, attics, or near coastal areas where humidity levels are high. On this 1940 penny, the rust appearing only on the backside suggests that it may have been stored flat against a surface or stacked with other coins, with the reverse being more exposed to environmental effects. For many collectors, this type of aging is not necessarily a flaw, but rather a testament to the coin's journey through history. Historically, 1940 was a year of significant change and uncertainty for the United States. Although the country was not yet engaged in the Second World War, global events were already influencing American industry and society. Pennies such as this one circulated in a nation still recovering from the Great Depression but preparing for potential wartime needs. Copper cents played an essential role in daily commerce, and a coin like this would have passed through countless hands, from shopkeepers and farmers to factory workers and school children. Each small transaction added wear and a unique patina to the coin, making every surviving example slightly different. From a mintage standpoint, while hundreds of millions were produced, the number of coins that survive today in collectible condition is much smaller, especially when we focus on coins with a natural aged appearance and no signs of harsh cleaning. Collectors value originality, and even a coin with some rust can command a premium. It remains otherwise undamaged and shows the honest history of its use. This is especially true when the rust creates unique color variations or textural patterns that give the coin individuality. In the marketplace, Lincoln Wheat pennies from the late 1930s and early 1940s continue to be highly collected. While pristine uncirculated coins bring strong prices, there is also a dedicated group of collectors who value coins with environmental characteristics as part of their charm. This 1940 example, with rust only on the backside, falls into that category. It tells a story of circulation, storage, and survival, offering a visual link to the period in which it was minted. Coins with such a story can become centerpiece items in specialized collections, especially when they are tied to specific historical eras and display naturally aged surfaces. It is important to note that a coin's value is influenced not just by its grade but by its rarity in a given condition, demand among collectors, and its appeal as a historical artifact. In this case, the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark, bearing rust only on one side, offers both rarity of condition and strong historical significance. Its presence in the high-end collector market can ignite competition among bidders who appreciate coins with unique visual traits. In conclusion, the 1940 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark, showing some rust on the backside, is far more than a small copper coin from the pre-war era. It is a tangible link to American history, a product of the Philadelphia Mint's craftsmanship, and a survivor of over 8 decades of circulation and storage. Its design remains a tribute to one of the nation's greatest leaders, while its environmental aging adds a unique fingerprint to its story. In today's numismatic market, such a coin can command values as high as $224,000 when the right mix of rarity, originality, and collector demand aligns, proving that even a humble penny can hold extraordinary worth when history and scarcity come together.